Zero to Geek. Learning better is better. As dogs are barking in the background, it's the best time to start talking. So, welcome to our second video about HTML5 graphing. Oh, Dad, stop barking! HTML graphing and data visualization cookbook. And I promise you, by the end of this series of videos, I'll actually know how to say the name of my book that I wrote. I know I didn't pick the name; it's just such a hard and chewy name. I think it's because it's easy to search for it on search engines, I guess. Bark away, you damn dog, and destroy my recording. So we're in the second chapter, and now we're going to talk about, in the first chapter we talked about Canvas in general. We learned a few basic things of drawing, a few basic drawing things, and I love the soundtrack. Okay, so advanced drawing in Canvas. What does that mean? So let's jump right in. We'll see what it means. And again, now if you are new to us, you just watch this video, start following us, subscribe. The button is here somewhere. It's YouTube. Subscribe to us. It's free. Once a week on Wednesday, we release a new video on my book or any other book that will give you some extra curriculum on the book and give you a bit more insight about why you should read it and what you'll do in that book. It's kind of like that overview of the book, plus an assignment or an idea of what you could do again. All right, so let's jump right in and not waste a lot of time, and we'll see basically what we could expect in the book. So the first thing that we're going to see is drawing arcs. So until now, we built stuff that were really easy to build. If it was squares, circles, or anything that was really, well, we didn't do circles yet. Arcs is really a type of circle. We did a circle really quickly in chapter 1, but we didn't really understand how it works. So actually, circles are basically a perfect arc, a complete arc. And what we're going to do in drawing arcs, we'll have a better understanding of how arcs work and how could we create like Pac-Man or Pac-Woman or Miss Pac-Man. I don't remember how she's called, but that doesn't really matter. So let's move on to the second assignment that we'll do, the second recipe that we'll create. And the second recipe, we'll start learning how to work with curves that have one control point. Now, in essence, a curve with a control point is when you have like a curve and there's something that's controlling it to change the curve. Now, the more control points you have, the more control you have over the curve itself. So we'll first start with drawing a curve that has only one control point, but soon after we'll move on to something that's called a Bezier curve. And a Bezier curve has two control points. And with two control points, you could do a lot more. So within the first three recipes, now we already are capable of doing so much more. And actually, we'll be integrating also our favorite thing to integrate, which is flags of the world. And actually, if you remember from chapter 1's video where I showed you the flag of Canada, after you're done with chapter 3, you should be with the flag of Canada with you. And that is kind of cool to know how to build such a complicated shape using code and only code. So then we move on to a new topic, which is kind of like just covering up a few loose ends that are not that hard, is how to integrate images into our artwork. And then we move on to drawing with text, because obviously, well, not obviously, so now I tell you, Canvas doesn't have live text in it. It's only drawing. But we could draw text, so we could use text to do drawings, and we're going to see how to do that. It's very, very convenient and something you really want to know how to do. And the next and last thing that we're going to do in this chapter is now that we're working with images, we're going to start playing with pixel manipulation, which is a whole title of its own, and probably a whole book could be written about pixel manipulation, but we'll see pixel manipulations hands-on and see how it works. So that's really the topics that we're going to cover, and I want to quickly just jump to the browser for a second. And now we're in our browser again. To remind you, if you haven't been on our site, it's zerotogeek.com. You'll find my book, HTML5 Graphics or Graphicking. I don't really know what the final name will be. And Data Visualization Cookbook, because I'm making these videos in advance and it might be a tweak in the name. So I'm the author. You'll find my book in the book section, and you will find our videos when they are published in our video section. The page might get redesigned, and you could find the source files on the bottom of the page or somewhere else if our design updates, which it probably will. So, because we like updating our designs, it's kind of fun. And so that's it about Zero to Geek. You could become a subscribe, yada yada. We'll talk about that, and then let's move on because we don't have a lot of time, and I don't want to waste your time. Your time is important to me, and so is mine. So let's move on. So let me show you quickly the examples of the things you're going to be working on. So first of all, we're going to know how to create the flag of Canada today. Well, after you read this chapter, you'll know how to integrate images into our elements. So for example, if there's an icon that's really complicated, you don't have to draw it yourself. You could actually integrate it into your art, which is very convenient. We will also learn about curves. So we'll see how to create different curves, and we'll see the effects of changing the curves to see it in motion. We'll then move on to working with images, and we're going to take this image and manipulate it and turn it to be this image. And we're going to do that all via code. So that's more or less what we're going to be covering, plus that text thing that we don't see here because we're in the pixel one, even though it's written text plus. But we also will show how to integrate text into the page and working a little bit with gradients and a few other cool factors. Now, let's go back into our presentation, and let's talk now about what could you do next. And actually, maybe it's best to have our flags of the world open while we're saying that. There isn't anything better than actually grabbing another 3 flags that you think you're ready for, things that have curves inside to build it out. Now, I'll actually give you the tips of how I built out this flag inside of the book, so I'm going to leave that for the book, but please do read that. And if you don't have a book, then I guess you won't be able to read it, which sucks for you. But if you do have the book, then you already know how to do it, or you're reading it right now, and then you'll know how to do it. And then I recommend you to pick another flag, a flag that is complicated, that has a shape that has curves. This shape is actually we're using both a Bezier curve and a regular curve to basically create this full element. We're using actually everything we learned to create the flag of Canada, which is probably awesome. All right, so that is your homework. Create 3 flags. I would love to see them again. Chapter 1 and 2 are all dedicated to canvas and flags, and everything after this chapter moves on to deeper waters where we start playing with actually creating graphing and thinking in that world of graphing and data visualization. I hate the word visualization. Absolutely hate that word. Data making pretty, or data visualization, I guess. All right, so that's about it. So thanks again for watching. I hope you join us. If you want to be a paid subscriber, I will love you, but beyond me loving you, you'll get over 110 hours of training on our website, support for everything you do in code. At least we'll be able to peek at your code and give you some insight, which is part of your membership. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Just join our YouTube channel, join our free options in our website, enjoy our free stuff, support us, buy the book, well, or buy other books, and check out our book offerings of the stuff that I think is great things for you to learn, and I hope you agree. So thanks again. Toodaloo.
Please subscribe to us, we love you so much. Please subscribe to us.
You'll find the subscribe button on the top left corner. 0 to geek. Learning better is better.